Welcome to the channel, my lions. You know that time flies when you get into that routine of working. You go home afterwards, you go play some video games, or you spend some time with your family and friends. You get caught up in the routine and the familiarity. You see your co-workers working for decades, stuck at doing the same jobs for years upon years upon years. You've got to ask yourself, is that what my life is going to be? Am I going to be like these co-workers, miserable and unhappy, just being here to make the dollar and not want to be there? There has to be more to life than this, is a question you must ask yourself and adjust your life accordingly.
Today we're going to be talking about why we need to be inspired by people that we work with, especially the older people. And that's really who we want to be inspired from mostly. People in our workforce, the ones that are older, the ones that been there for a long ass time, the ones that been there for 17 years working in the warehouse. Currently, I work in the warehouse right now. I work at LKQ. If you're watching this in a different city or state, you will probably, maybe you have an LKQ out there, but that don't really matter. But what I was thinking about is that sometimes we get caught up in like who we work with and we identify as just another employee that works there. But once you realize that you got a mission, and when you realize that there is a goal outside of this workplace, you have to really be able to fuel that fire with the people that are working around you that have been in the same position for 15 years. They've been working the same dead-end job. You making damn near just as much as them, and they've been here for 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, you know what I mean? And they haven't even, some of them haven't even moved up the corporate ladder. They've been just working their regular position, or they might have switched around. Those are the people that you got to be inspired by in order, and then tell yourself, I'm not going to be like them. Because if you don't push yourself towards your goals, let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. If you don't push yourself towards your goals, even at your workspace, you're going to find yourself damn near being stuck in the same loop. If you don't put no motion towards nothing, you're going to be damn near stuck on what you've been doing. You're going to be constantly just, all right, I'm working here, I'm around these people. Next thing you know, they'll go 1 year. Next thing you know, they'll go 2 years. Next thing you know, they'll go 3 years, because you've just been working. Or you might have switched jobs. You might have, it don't even matter if you switch a job. Anybody that you working around, pay attention to who you work with, and like really just analyze like other people's mistakes. Because at the end of the day, the people that do work at these jobs for 15 years, 10 years, and they haven't moved up the corporate ladder at least to get like a significant pay raise or something like that, most of the time them people is struggling. Most of the time they is stressed out, miserable. Let me flip my hat so I can see my face. Most of the time, bro, some people is stressed out, miserable, bro. They don't like what they doing. They just doing this shit to get by. And then, I mean, when you a young person that's working in like one of these type of jobs, like a warehouse, or you just working around older people and you kind of making the same type of competitive pay as them, or damn near the same exact thing, deep down they really don't like that. They more insecure about it, because they realizing, damn, this young person, they've been working here, they working here now. I'm where they started, and I'm still in the same spot from where they started 15 years later, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? They don't really feel good about that. And if you don't put some type of motion to even the littlest thing, like nobody said that your life is going to change overnight. Or of course it ain't going to change overnight unless something like crazy lucky happen, like you hit the lottery, or you get some like crazy big shout out, or win some giveaway or some whatever the fuck. But yeah, bruh, you got to at least put a little bit of motion into something. That's why I'm even putting effort into making this content that I'm making now, putting these videos out there. Just really kind of getting myself out there and shit, you know what I mean? It's a little bit of motion, baby steps, a little bit at a time. And if you don't, even whatever you find that you want your niche to be, start putting motion into that. Start expanding outside of this work shit. And then you're gonna really realize that you got a bigger picture going on, and you're not gonna be like these same motherfuckers that's out here. I think my manager walking over to me now. I don't know why, but you're not gonna be in the same position as these motherfuckers, bro. If you stick to your shit, you feel me? But I really just wanted to get this message out there, not to be shaming anybody who's in the workforce, or if you are older and you still happen to watch this, it ain't no shame. But I'm just saying, man, keep your eyes on the bigger picture and realize that you don't want to be like the typical motherfuckers that been working here for 15 years. Then you're gonna be sad as fuck when that time come around and you realize that you be doing the same shit. How do you think these motherfuckers is still there all this time? That's because they just kind of fell into the trap, especially the older generation. Them motherfuckers be stuck in that work mindset. They don't even really be trying to expand. They just work, just pay the bills, provide. Most of them don't really look for nothing bigger. That's why they be stuck. Some of them motherfuckers be stuck miserable. So yeah, bruh, that's all I gotta say.
Some of these old folks got lucky, and with the dead-end job they have, they bought their house for cheap and can sustain their lives. Young people are not in the same boat. Rent prices, car prices, food prices are very expensive these days. These young people can't afford much with the paycheck they are getting. So my lines, you cannot allow yourself to be stuck at your job. You need to be looking for ways to move up the chain. Apply for promotions and find other ways of providing for yourself that no one can fire you from. What's very popular these days is living in a cheaper jurisdiction, maybe overseas.
Today, I'm gonna give you the reasons why I chose to leave America, and I don't plan on returning anytime soon. Right now, we are in Thailand, Pattaya to be Pacific. And I was just sitting here thinking, like a year ago, I was in Thailand, and I went back to America. And now I'm back in Thailand because the quality of life in America is absolutely abysmal now. You cannot live in America. Inflation is way too high. From the state I'm from, New Jersey, rent runs you, especially northern New Jersey, rent is gonna be plus $2,000. Now let's think about that for a second. The median income in America is about $45,000 to $50,000 a year. Now, how can people afford to spend half of their annual income? We're not even including taxes yet. They're spending half of their annual income in rent. And then we're not even factoring in food, electricity. In America, you have to have a car, especially like in New Jersey. You're gonna need a car to get around. So you got a car note, add an extra $600 to $1,000. Now look, you have $3,000 gone already of your income. There's no way you can survive. But if you come to a place like Pattaya, Thailand, you can get you a nice apartment for $200 to $400 a month. And you could be right here on the beach. Like right now, I'm on Pattaya Beach. You can have a waterfront property for from $200 to $400 a month. That's not possible in America, Canada, UK. It's not happening. Also, it's just the people out here are happier. What I realized when I went back from traveling the world, because I've been to Tanzania, I lived in Thailand, where we are right now, people are more happier outside of America. And I was thinking about this, and then I realized why. America is just one big business. If you really break it down, America is a business. And your status symbol is your income. That's why when you meet people, or people always saying, oh, I make six figures, I make high six figures. But you never hear people saying stuff like, I'm really enjoying my life right now. I'm really happy. You can make a bunch of money in America. That is true. But at what sacrifice does it come making that money? I know a lot of people who make six figures plus, and they absolutely hate their life. And I met many people around the world from Africa, Asia, who live off of about $2, $3 a day, and they're absolutely content with their life. Of course, they will want a little bit more. Who doesn't want more? But these people are happy. They're not like, oh, I need this new Porsche, I need this, I need to get this promotion so I can make $250 instead of $200,000. Like, I feel like back in America, we sacrifice our life for a carriage at the end of the road, which is retirement. And once you're like 65, what are you really gonna be able to do? You can't move around like you used to. You're gonna be tired, and half the people are not even gonna make it to 65 with the stress levels and the toxic diet that exists in America. Now, America will always be my home, and I'm happy I'm American. But I cannot recommend people living there long term. And it doesn't take that much to get outside of America. Like I said, $2,000 a month can get you a good standard of living in a bunch of countries. You can live here in Thailand for $2,000 a month. You can live in Kenya for $2,000 a month. You can live in so many countries off of $2,000 a month, which would be impossible to live off of in America. And that's another thing I want to tell people about is people think that you need to have all this money to live outside of America. Like, that is not true. There's plenty of people who are teaching English online, they're YouTubers, they're doing all different type of things to make a living. So it's not back in the day where you had to have like a 9 to 5 to sustain yourself. Now there's so many avenues to make money. It just makes sense to leave America. And I'm not just talking about America too. You can include the UK, Canada, all the Western countries are really pricing themselves out of the market for normal people. Only the upper echelon are really enjoying the barons and the spoils of lives back in the West.
Hold tight, me gonna get.